Hey, what's up, everybody? Hope you guys are having an amazing day. I have a really good some information that I want to share with you today, and this was on my mind over the weekend, and I was a little too busy to do an actual live, and I said today I wanted to do a live. So I hope that you are able to take this information and not only just hear it. A lot of things that people do, they hear information, but how are you going to utilize this information in your life? What are you going to do today to change it tomorrow? And what haven't you been doing? Taking a look at the approach that what haven't you been doing that you say you were going to do, and why haven't you done it? So today we're going to talk about how to overcome limitations of the mind. And limitations, like, why do they start? How do they start? How could we remove these limitations? And it all connects to the mind. It connects to the mind that how do we perceive our world? How do we intake our world? Our surroundings, the stimulation, of things around us. How do we perceive it? And a lot of what we do, we perceive through validation. And that's the first thing I want to talk about. We intake this information and we always validating what's best for us, what we should take in, how we should be perceived, how we should move in the world around us, and how we should actually have the world connect to us, and how do people perceive us. And this validation is a powerful tool. It's a powerful tool because it can make you as great as you want to be, or it can take something from you where it have you living in what appears to be a bondage, appear to be a cell, a mental cell. And the mental cell is worse, 10 times worse than actually being in a physical cell, because the mental cell, if you're not able to change that format in your mind and correctively see where you're going at, you begin to grab hold of that idea that you're not good enough. You begin to connect to the mindset that I'm not good enough. I wish I can do it, but why can't I do it? So the validation period start, of how we, receive and intake the world when we're very young. So a lot of our information that we perceive and how we intake those things of how we should be and how we learn is before we actually hit 8 years old. So the people that's telling us what we should do, what we shouldn't do, how we should behave, how we should act, the things that we should connect with, the things that we shouldn't connect with. So all these ideas right here is helping us. The stimulation, or the intake of the stimuli is intaking this information of how we perceive the world. And this information right here is either going to make us better or it's going to make us worse right here. So listen to what I'm saying. The things that we learned when we were kids, the things that we learned from people that we trusted, the people that we connected with, the people that we felt understood us, was the foundational piece of how we begin to perceive the world. And this right here is if you look at this really in depth, the things that you're going through now, the things that there seems to be a barrier and an obstacle in your life now, is the foundation that was built for you long time ago. And this is how you perceive the world, even validation right now. They actually did a study, many studies, where people on the elevator, it could be like 5, 8 people on the elevator, and they're turned the wrong direction. The person that get on the elevator, when they walk on, they see what the other people is doing, and they feel, or they think that for me not to appear to be different, even though these guys are different, why they turn the wrong way? They automatically get on the elevator, they look around, and they conform. And the conformity, that this conformity, process, we begin to conform based on our environment. We feel that this is what I should do based off of what I was taught, based off of what I was told, and based off of the things around me. So they found that through this study, that if the person get on the elevator with these other 5 to 8 people that's turned the wrong direction, they automatically turn around. It's almost like when you're walking around, if you see a group of people looking up in the sky, you're gonna look around and you're gonna look up too. So we bring in this information of the environment around us and limitations. Let's talk more about limitations, of the mind. In 1954, I got some notes right here. Robert Banister, they call it the Banister effect. In 1954, Roger Bannister broke the record of being able to run a mile in under 4 minutes. Before this, no one was able to run a mile in under 4 minutes. Why was this? The reason why people was unable to, because nobody ever did it. Nobody can validate that it was true, that it was real. So this one guy said, you know what? I'm going to break this record. Whatever his process was for training, he did something that other people weren't used to doing. Once he broke this record right here, a year later, 300 plus people also broke the record. Do you see where I'm going up with this right here? So people need to validate their worth. They need to validate, how good am I? Can I do it? And you don't need to reinvent the wheel. All you need to do is say that, what am I going to do? And it don't have to be different. What am I going to do to achieve the outcome of the goal that I have in mind? What's my outcome? What's my goal? What do I want to achieve? What do I need to do differently that I haven't been doing? And most people, they want a different result, but they continuously do the same thing. You have to be sincere and ask yourself, what have I been doing and why haven't I gotten a result? And accountability is that, how often are you checking on this right here? Most people have a goal in mind, they have an idea in mind, they have this bright idea of what they want to do to change, and then they let this go on the wayside. They don't hold themselves accountable. What they do, they'll say, I'm going to complete this right here, I'm going to do this right here. And guess what? They don't hold themselves accountable. So one of the key things, if you're able to connect with somebody that can be your accountability partner. Now, I'm not talking about the old accountability partner of somebody that's doing the same thing that you're doing, or I shouldn't say the same thing you're doing, somebody who's not going in the direction that you're going. And go back to validation, the limitations of the mind. You can connect and get to where you want to be when you see the other people in your life also going there. It goes back to the banister effect, is that people was able to break his record once he broke the record. So therefore, the limitations of the mind is designed and around that concept that the people that's in your life, the people that have been in your life, they said, if you want to see where you're going in the next 5 years, 10 years, look at your five closest friends. It's simple as that. Look at the people that you're around. Because what happened is, they have that mindset that they may want more. But the thing about it is, they're not aiming to actually make it happen. They're waiting for it to happen. And most people, what they do, they'll sit back, they'll say, I want to do it, I'm going to do it, but they waiting for some mysterious thing to happen. If you wait for it to happen, it never happens. You'll wait 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, and you'll realize that things that you want has been placed on a back burner. And it's placed on a back burner because the circle of friends you're with, the situation you're with, it places you in a place of limitation. Even people that work jobs, work a 9 to 5. There's nothing wrong with a 9 to 5. I have worked a 9 to 5 for 20 something years. And if you guys watch my other videos, one day I just said, I'm leaving. I'm gone. I'm getting out of here. Because when you work in a place and you're connected with other people with that same limitation, you begin to conform. And you begin to conform just like on the elevator. I talked about earlier, the people that get on the elevator, it's five to eight people in the elevator standing in the wrong direction. What are you going to do when you get on there? More than likely, you're going to turn their direction. Now, there are some people that say, you know what, I'm not doing what they're doing. You're the person that's ready to achieve what you always wanted. But you got to begin to surround yourself with people that's going in the same direction. And when I say same direction, they don't have to be going in the same direction necessarily. They're going to do exactly what you're doing, but their mindset have to be limitless. It's almost like the movie. I'm not sure if you guys ever seen the movie Limitless. I think Bradley Cooper. That movie right there, it could be a fictional movie, but I'm going to connect to a part that's actually real about that. Eliciting a state. Now, eliciting a state means you begin to elicit something that you're not doing. It's almost like, have you ever watched a movie and at the end of the movie, if it was a movie of bravery, at the end of the movie, you feel brave. You feel strong. If it was an emotional movie, you feel sad. You feel like you want to cry. Start connecting to people, start connecting to things, elicit a state inside of you It's going to make you more bold in what it is that you're doing. Whether you got to read the proper books, you got to watch the proper videos, you got to talk to the proper people. And when I say, get an accountability partner, find somebody who have the same drive as you. If you're around people that don't have the same drive and all they talk about, work was good today, I got a raise, this weekend I'm going to hang out with my friends. If you're around people that talk like that right there, you'll be in the same box year after year. You want to be around people that say, you know what? In 5 years, my goal is to make $1 million. In 5 years, my goal is to be more happier than where I'm at right now. And in 5 years, I want to be able to retire my parents. In 5 years, I want to be able to have an account set up for my kids. That way, when I retire, I can pay for their school bill, whatever it may be. If you're not around people that's not talking like that right there, you gotta reevaluate the people that you're around. And the thing about it is, all depending on your age, you might need to start yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. Don't wait. Tomorrow morning I'm gonna go ahead and start this right here. No, you need to start today. There's no more time. Because the limitation of that, this is how the mind works. Is that it's a pattern. The mind works in the format of a pattern. You train the mind based off of how you want it to develop. So therefore, say you want to accomplish something, right? You want to achieve something. What you do is that you say, I'm going to do A, B, and C. The moment you don't do B, you slack on C, you almost done A, you teaching your mind how to fail. You training the mind how to fail. And then what you do is that you may say, you know what? I'll work on it tomorrow. I'm gonna watch a little TV. I'm gonna, eat a bag of popcorn. You training the mind to get accustomed to that. So what you want to do first of all, you want to train the mind is like a runaway child. It's like a runaway child. They want to eat candy. They want to play with toys. They want to do the things that's considered fun. What do kids do? Kids do things that's considered fun. If you tell a child sit down and read a book, what they gonna do? They're gonna be like, unless you train them, they're gonna be at the book. You'll see them over there digging up their nose, scratching their hair, playing with their toy. You'll see them doing a million different things besides focusing on the book. So what you want to do is train your mind. And the way that you train your mind, you have to start doing small tasks. Most people, they go select big things. They be like, you know what? I want to build this business right here, and I'm going to build this business in 6 months. That's fine. That's fine right there. But pick one task. Say, you know what? If I don't know how to utilize or use Microsoft Word, I'm going to learn Microsoft Word for the next month, the next 2 months. That's what I'm going to learn. I'm going to learn how to understand my emails. And you might be laughing. I know people that don't understand how to utilize their emails. So basic, but some people don't know how to understand their emails. Responding back to people on time. So the thing about it is you want to train the mind in small increments. You don't want to just be like, oh, I'm going to do this. Because the moment you start to go boom and you don't do it, the mind have learned a new pattern that guess what? So and so is not going to do it. So pick one thing, 1 month. 1 month, I said, it's one thing I'm going to master. I think it was that phrase, the jack of all trades, the master of none. Most people are the jack. They're the jack of all trades. You can ask them, they know how to fix this, they know how to do that, they know how to do this, they know how to do that. But what happened when you talk to them, they're like, oh man, I'm behind on my bills. It's like, why is that? So training the mind to be more direct on its approach is how you actually do it. And what happened is the more that you train it, it runs on autopilot. For years, it has been running on autopilot of failure. And I just want to give it to you straight that the mind have been running you. You haven't been it been running you. So everything that you wanted to do, it's only an idea. It's a dream. Until you actually make your idea and your dreams a reality, and actually set the time aside, connect yourself to the people that's going to help you grow, and actually take the initiative. The way the mind works, it's not that it's not working. I'm not sure if I can do it. It's how can I do it? Who can I connect with? What do I need to start today? What book do I need to read? What coach I need to get with? What store I need to go to? What do I need to do? And the moment you ask that question right there, and the reason I'm so passionate about this right here, I talk to a lot of people, connect with a lot of people, and people is great. People is amazing. People have these gifts. but there are limitations. The smallest thing of not knowing how to actually, stay on top of things when they got customers. Like far as like, a customer send them an email, they can't respond to the email. Or following up with somebody, making sure that when somebody needs something, they send that package off immediately. People are so great, but what are you doing to train your mind? And the mind is the back of it all. The mind is the back of it all. So changing your circle of people, your people and situations. So a toxic relationship, toxic friendship, toxic situations. If you are in a situation where people is not motivating you, making you feel good, guess what? They're not eliciting that state inside of you. And listening the state means that it makes you feel good about what it is that you want to do. They don't have to be talking about, that everything is always good, but when they talk about things, they on the same journey as you. So listen to the corrective way of thinking. You got to start bringing things into your mind, your spirit, your mindset, the deep inner part of you that want to grow. You got to train a mind to want to grow. That old worn out, I'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow is fine and dandy, but guess what? I turned 42 in like 2 weeks. You know what? When people ask me, I still have friends and co-workers, from my past and people that I know. They may say, "Hey, Gary, I got this good business venture. Wonder if you want to be a part of it." If it's not in alignment with who I am, I don't want no parts of it. I don't want nothing to do, but I wish them the best though. And this is how you got to get. You got to get so strategic on what it is that you want to do that you're not going to let anybody pull you outside of that circle. I don't care what, and that's why they said, money is the rule of all evil. Money is not the rule of all evil. It's what people do. It's how they react to money. Money is beautiful. The skill that you have, the gift that you have, money will come to you when you understand what you need to do. So, and also, this is another key thing right here. Knowledge is power. But if you don't act on knowledge, it's almost like, somebody, giving you $1 million. If you don't know how to manage money, your money, the $1 million is going to be gone. I actually know a few people that was multi-millionaires. And I couldn't believe that they lost that fortune because they never learned how to manage money. Now, you probably saying like me, if I had that $1 million, I would have managed it. But if you're somebody who have always trained your mind not to manage money, and the thing about it is, can you manage $1,000? Can you manage $5,000? And people are like, oh, well, nah, I need more money to manage. No, 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 no. You got to learn how to manage yourself. Managing money means managing yourself. So knowledge is power. If you're not going to act, most people, if you're just going to hear and not do, just like if you're watching this right now, if you're not going to act on the things that I'm sharing with you, and it's just the knowledge, oh, I hear what Gary's saying, you are not taking into your spirit to connect to your purpose and destiny. You're not. So therefore, today, make a conscious decision to say, I'm the master of my destiny. And the limitations in my mind may appear big, but guess what? They're small. When you connect to the people, places, and things that's going in your direction, when you begin to set small, minute goals, don't set no big goals. Set small, minute goals. Say you want to lose 10 pounds. Guess what? Instead of saying, I hear some people say, I'm going to lose, a pound a day. No. Say you're going to lose a pound a week, 2 pounds a week. Don't overdo it. Don't overdo it. So what happens is that the moment you miss the mark, you begin to feel like, oh, I let myself down. Set a small, tiny little goal. Once you accomplish that, give yourself a little praise and get right back on the train. It's like I keep on moving again. Then set a bigger goal. Accomplish that and say, you know what? Get back on the train. I got to keep rolling again. After 6 months to a year, you would have developed something that you haven't had before. And you guys always hear me talk about meditation, concentration, focus of attention, connecting to your high awareness, connecting to the mind, body, and spirit. These are things that most people overlook. It's like the person, they want the pot of gold, but they're not willing to put in the work. I remember when I was, a younger man, I was at this job fair. And I remember they had all these job listings on the wall. I mean, they probably had about 12 of them. The most highest paying job was at the end. This job was paying, I think, about $150,000, $170,000. And I was like, wow. I was like, People really make that money? I was like, well, I was 17, like 18. And I remember a guy was over there applying for the job on the end. And he was asking people, how do you pronounce this job? Can you read this for me? And it was like, wait a second. You're trying to apply for something or do something. You don't even know what you're doing. So what happened is don't put the cart before the horse. Learn what you need to learn. Acquire the knowledge that you need to gather and then act on it. And don't be afraid to ask questions. In life, don't be afraid to ask questions and feel deserving. You should feel deserving with everything that you do. No. And the thing about it is that most people they want money, they pray for money, but the inner part of them don't believe that it's true or that it's possible. That's the parts that hold you back because it makes you complacent. It places a limitation on you where you feel like I want more, but I feel like I can't acquire more. So you got to start getting, structure of the mind. Start connecting to people that's going your direction. Start achieving small goals, then build off of them right there. And believe that the impossible is possible in your life. Just like the guy Banister, the guy who broke the record of running 4 miles in under a minute back in 1954 Olympics. The first person who done that. And after he done it, guess what? 300 other people did it that year. And then after that, other people start breaking that record. People's like, you know what? If he can do it, she can do it, I can do it. Look at a person that you would like to be like. Look at a person that you inspire to be like, not be like, but inspire to be like. Look at their characteristics. Look at what they do. Read their biography. Understand how they got there. Connect with other people that also can inspire you, and not just inspire you. Inspiration is good, but hold you accountable. Once you held accountable, you begin to develop that part inside of you that begin to blossom. So I hope you love this information I shared with you. If you're somebody who's trying to grow, you're trying to get to the next level, don't let you hold yourself back. We can become our biggest obstacle. We feel like that, I know. But sometimes you just don't know. I had to get out that place, I had to get that mindset. I don't know everything. When I pray about things, ask about things, when I connect with my internal source and I ask the question, help me get to this level, you got to start looking for the opportunities. And the opportunities present themselves all the time. I once knew a guy that actually was homeless. He was homeless. In about 2 years, 3 years, it is not because of me, but he acquired wealth that changed his life. He acquired millions and millions of dollars. But the thing about him, when he was poor, he told me money doesn't make him. He said, I don't care about money. All I care about is being healthy, taking care of myself. And he said, I wish my mom was here. He said, all the money in the world don't matter if you don't have the love in your life, the people who love you and you connect with them. This guy became a multi-millionaire. He never had to work a day in his life. And guess what? He still worked 2 jobs. That wouldn't have been me. He still worked 2 jobs. But the point I'm trying to prove is that know your worth, know who you are, break down the limitations of your mind by doing the necessary things in small increments. Connect to people around you who can help you get there. Learn the knowledge, but don't just learn it, act on it. I hope you guys like this information I shared. Hit me in the comment section. Let me know what you think. If you have some questions about what I talked about, you're not sure, ask in the comment section below. And today, make it happen. Don't wait for tomorrow. And I'll talk to y'all later.